What's up, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Dish by Keev, when we uncover stories behind some of the most successful restaurants around the city. I'm your host, Keev, and I'm joined today by Los Taquero Mucho, very own Miguel Garcia. What up, Miguel?
What's up, my boy?
What up, man? What up? First of all, thanks for being here, man, and blessing episode one. Really appreciate your efforts around that, man.
No, thank you for having me, man. It's a
how was
pleasure
the-
to be the first.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, how was the holiday season, man? Let's talk a little bit about that. Like, were you guys busy? A lot of corporate caterings, like, or was it a little chill for you guys?
November was kind of chill. Usually it is. But December, we do get a lot of those corporate caterings, a lot of the lunches for the employees. Companies show the appreciation usually around that time of year. So,
Yeah.
what's best than tacos? Who doesn't love tacos, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, man. Let's jump into it, man. Let's talk a little bit about your background. Talk a little bit about your brand. Tell us a little bit about Los Taquero Mucho.
So Los Taquero Mucho started back in 2019. Just from an idea, man. I had quit my corporate job at Chase, and basically I was doing Uber to get by, pay bills, do what I had to do. And then basically one of my brother-in-laws said, "Hey, let's buy a taco cart. Let's start just catering. Let's start doing taquisas." And I was like, "Let's do it," because I'm always down for a challenge. But cooking had always been my passion. So, whatever cash flow I had, whatever cash I had coming from my pension, my retirement, my 401k, said, "Hey, let's invest that." Purchase a taco cart, basically just started messing around with different recipes when it came to the meats and stuff and salsas, trying to find the best tortillas. And just by word of mouth, it really started with my wife, Sylvia, which we all had connections with Chase, and she had connections where she previously worked at State Farm. And we just started letting everybody know, "Hey, this is what we're starting." We went to one of the State Farm offices, and we just gave them the different recipes we did on the meats, and be like, "Hey, let us know which ones you like more." And that's how basically it started, man. Just word of mouth.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So was that something like you were just kind of like, "Hey, I'm just transition into something different. Let me try something different." How did that come about? Like, how do you guys just determine that you want to go in the direction of tacos opposed to any other cuisine?
I think the mentality was, "Hey, tacos is easy. Everybody likes tacos. Everybody's gonna, it's gonna be like, yeah, heck yeah, who doesn't want a taquero right at their birthday parties, you name it, any type of gathering." So we really thought, man, this is gonna be a piece of cake, right? And cooking has always been my passion, man. That's something I always enjoyed. When I worked at Chase and we had potlucks, I was always making sure. My dad has been in the industry for it's close to 40 years now. Basically,
Shout out to Pops, by the way.
yeah. Pops tu leche always has your glass of milk ready when you come over, my boy. But yeah, basically, he's been in the industry for such a long time, and I'd always enjoyed taking those dishes, and just really everybody was like, "Wow, this is so good." And I found out, this is something I wanted to do when people would ask you for recipes.
Sure.
Like, "Hey, how do you make it?" Like, and every time somebody tells me, I was like, "I don't have a problem giving you the recipe, but you don't have my hand," right? And that's something we say, in the Hispanics, it's like, "Oh, pero es la mano," basically the seasoning that everybody has. It's easy to follow a recipe, but there's always a little secret behind
That
it
little
that you're not
special
gonna,
touch, right?
yeah, that you're not gonna give that away. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, man, that's basically where
Nice,
the
man,
direction
nice.
we took it.
So with the menu development, like, how did that come about? You guys got some very like unique tacos outside of just the traditional like asada or chicken or whatnot. How did that come about? Is that you guys kind of have a fusion, right, with Guatemala and Mexican style cuisine, right?
Yeah, so Sylvia, her dad's from Guatemala, and then her mom's from Mexico. But she grew up more on the Guatemalan side of the family with her aunts and stuff. So, um, I once we started, once we knew we wanted to go into the specialty, or how people like to call it, gourmet realm. I knew I wanted to do something with different states of Mexico as well. So like the cochinita pibil, which is from Yucatan. So I just kind of wanted to explore the different types of cuisines that are, Mexico's pretty big as well. And just kind of put stuff together. Barney, as you know, from Boulevard Market, he kind of, we were part of the incubator program, which we'll probably get more into in a little bit. He linked me up with some, highly talented chefs. I kind of just took my ideas, told them this is what I want to do, and they just kind of will, put it together. And I worked with two different chefs, Jonathan from Machin and then Ted from Sorad. So we basically they kind of helped me put those together, and then went from there.
Nice, nice.
The cremita though, that one I put together.
Oh,
I'll,
nice,
I'll
nice.
give
That's one of
myself,
your top sellers, though, right?
I'll
Yeah.
give myself credit for that one because that comes originally from an enchilada that my dad makes, a white one. So I just kind of was like, okay, I want to make that into a taco. So just kind of, I put that together: cheese, the white sauce, the chicken, and then just I wanted a little kick, the jalapeno and pomegranate seeds. Just kind of give that savory sweet balance. And that actually I'll give credit to Barney because he's the one that was like, hey, try something sweet on there, maybe a pomegranate seed.
That's it right there, a little cherry on top, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So you initially had your taco cart, and then now you have a brick and mortar, which has been established for about 4 years now.
Be 4 years this year, yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that process of going from catering a cart to having your first brick and mortar. What was that process like?
Fun, that's for sure. Really fun. And it all goes back to Sylvia. She's the one that originally met Barney at a marketing class in Downey. She stayed in touch with him, followed him on social media, found out about the incubator program. She reached out to him and was like, hey, this is what we're doing. Because they were originally looking for small businesses that had been operating for 2 years, minimum of 2 years. And we had actually just been operating for about 3 months where we're actually going. We had about 2 carts by then. We were using our personal cars to, basically get around to every taquiza. And he said, you know what? I'll give you guys a shot. Come in. We did the interview process, did a food tasting. They really liked us. They're like, all right, I think you guys have something special. And basically, out of 12 candidates, 4 of us made it to a business boot camp. And out of those 4, we were the only ones that actually ended up in the location at Boulevard Market in the incubator kitchen.
Nice. Yeah. Shout out Barney too, man. Shout out Barney, a great guy. Yeah,
oh yeah, man. Great guy. He basically has helped us a lot. Gave us that chance, and it just goes back to Sylvia, man. Shout out to her too, man.
Yeah. Wifey holding you down, right?
Yeah.
Right on, man. So yeah, just tell us a little bit about that process. I know Barney had the development at Boulevard Market. It was fresh new development. That project took a while to get built out. Like, what was that process like of ramping up to get ready for that?
Well, COVID slowed it down. It was supposed to open before COVID, but then COVID slowed it down a little bit. So that came with more challenges, right? Sure. We were pretty much ready to go. We were excited. We had already looked into funding. We, supplies and stuff like that. And then COVID hits. And, but then we were fortunate enough to be able to pop up in front of Angry Horse, which is right across the street from Boulevard. And, Nathan gave us the opportunity to be like, hey, and once again, man, what goes good with beer? Tacos, right?
100%.
So he's all like, hey, pop up. You guys can sell food as people are coming to buy their 4-packs to go. You guys can sell your food out here. And he gave us and Cafe Santos the opportunity. So once we were closer to construction at Boulevard Market, we were able to pop up across the street and, just sell from there. And the community, the city of Montebello, they're awesome, man. They came. We still have people that were supporting us from Angry Horse to across the street when we used to pop up, still showing up, and letting reminding us, hey, you used to pop up across the street, and be like, yeah, man, I remember those tough days, having to set up, break down. now it's just, come in, set up, or get everything ready, clean at the end of the night instead of having to pop up your canopy, bring it down. So, um, but everything, you all these challenges make everything worth it.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So you talk about like initially setting up and, obtaining funding, things of that nature. Did you guys pretty much bootstrap everything, or was it a mix of bootstrapping and financing from a bank? Like, what was that process like? Because, we understand that, restaurants can be very costly with equipment and, build outs, things of that nature. What was that like?
So being part of the incubator program really helped because the kitchen was built out, right?
Okay.
So basically everything was in place for us. All we really had to worry about was payroll funds, and then any type of equipment that we needed, pots, pans, bins, you name it. Um, but we did have to look for some type of small business loan, which at the time was kind of pretty difficult for us, because we were just a catering, company just doing taco carts,
Sure.
taquisas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We weren't established for that long because it was 2019. We only had really, by the time we started looking for funding, it was only 2 years in the industry. But like
Did COVID have any impact on that? With obtaining funding, or I don't know. You mentioned that was a bit of a challenge and kind of put little things on pause once that kicked off with the build out and whatnot.
It was a little bit difficult because there was not too much history basically on sales and stuff like that. I remember back then when we used to pop up and we were happy that we were making $500 in a day, right? And we're like, well, how are you guys paying yourselves? Well, I was still doing Uber, right? I was still going out there doing Uber deliveries, food deliveries, you name it, to bring in that extra cash flow, right? Because I think at the beginning we're paying ourselves $25 per day. Like we would go set up and sell.
It's grinding, huh?
Yeah, man. And if we would have a taquiza, we're like, all right, let's splurge. Pay yourself $75, right? So, in the beginning, we were doing, I don't know, three. I remember one day I did like 3 taquisas in a day. I did an early lunch, I did a mid, and then I did a late night. So the history wasn't there for the funding, but lucky enough, there's a lot of resources out there. I think a lot of small business owners don't know that, and I think that's something that should be known to a lot. That there's a lot of resources. There's a lot of nonprofits, a lot of foundations that actually helped with the funding. Semilla, which is they're a nonprofit. They help small businesses. They basically only asked for us to prove that we were selling through via Instagram. They're like, well, just show us that you started back then, what you were doing. And it was a small loan, 20,000, but basically, as a small business with
goes
not
a long
too much,
way, right?
yeah,
20 grand goes a
right.
long way.
And it was like, back then we're like, oh, 20,000 is like, well, we had to stretch that out, right? So yeah, it's tough, but just know that there's options out there. There's resources,
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I think it's tough for a lot of startup restaurants, right? And a lot of people think, they have this perception around like, if my food is just great, like that's all I need to really get things going, right? And it's so much bigger than that. There's inventory you have to manage. There's payroll. There's all these things that come up outside of just cooking. Like it's not just about cooking good food. It's marketing behind that, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about like initially getting things going, getting the brick and mortar up and going, and that first day of grand opening. What was that like?
It was crazy because that grand opening was actually the same day that the city of Montebello was doing their street fair, right on the same block as we were. And it was the first time they were doing after COVID, so they had not done it for 2 years. Sure. So everybody was eager to come out, right?
They're ready.
So I got in that morning, maybe like at 6 a.m, and I was excited, getting ready to go. I was like, man, let's do this, let's go. And half day I think we opened at 11. By 2 we had to close for about an hour and a half because we had to prep more food because we ran out because there was just so many people. So basically, We learned a lot that day. You know, making sure POS was ready, making sure
Mm-hmm.
we really didn't know what to expect. And it was crazy. Just it was nowhere to sit. People kept coming, walking through. Basically, everybody was eager to get out, and
Sure.
that street fair was really a big successful day. When you have to close midday because you got to cook more meat and
Yeah.
we got to get more stuff done, or we ran out of this, ran out of that. And I think that was on Friday, if I'm correct. On Sunday or Saturday, on Sunday, half of my menu wasn't available. And all those things, it was it was the first time in the industry,
Yeah.
really. Because I was in the banking industry. Sylvia was in the insurance industry. I never worked at a restaurant. We never worked at a restaurant, neither of us. Well, she worked at a pizza place for a little bit. Um, so I jumped into this basically as a first timer on everything.
Just figuring it out as you go, right? Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
still remember one time my friend Ted, he told me, he's like, bro, you're crazy. He's like, you never worked in the industry? I was like, no. And he worked at his high school cafeteria. He went to culinary school, and he's like, so you're telling me that the first time you work in the industry, you decide to open a restaurant? I was like, yeah, man. I was like, he's like, bro, that takes some balls. I was like, it sure does.
Yes,
And
sir.
that from that day, I was like, man, he's right. I was like, God. I never thought about it that way. So, but yeah, it's crazy.
So you talked a lot about the the pitfalls and that grand opening day, how stressful that was, how you had to figure things out as you went, right? Um, what are some of the other challenges that you had, initially opening a restaurant? You're here approaching year 4 now. What are some of the challenges that you've experienced as a startup restaurant owner?
Well, I think we touched on it a little bit, funding. But now I think year 4 we really know there's a lot of more resources available. Grants is a big thing. A lot of small businesses don't know that they qualify for grants.
Sure. Yeah.
Anything helps from 3,000 to 20,000, you name it. I think just those challenges of staffing. Staffing is
Yeah,
it's a
that's a
big
big
one.
one right there,
That's a
for
big
sure.
one. Staffing is always you got to know how to find the right people, and in this industry is tough, man, because it's not an easy industry. Like you come in and you're gonna work hard on the weekend. Like you got a bunch of dishes. You got some people giving you attitude, and you kind of have to have that tough skin.
Sure.
And staffing is a big thing. But I think just knowing the culture that we want to have with everybody, just kind of that'll help out. And just knowing your I'm gonna use a industry term, but knowing your pars, right? Knowing
Huge. Yeah.
basically what you need every single day.
You can't be running out of food. People coming to get their favorite thing and it ain't there.
Yeah.
They traveled all the way across the city to get this taco and it's not there, right?
Yeah, they hear about this pork belly, which is our top seller, right? And you can't run out of that. You can't really.
Yeah.
You got to know, hey, the winter we need this much. In the summer, I need to prepare 10 slabs a week. You name it. There's times where we need 12 slabs in a week. 4 on the weekend.
Sure.
So yeah, just knowing basically what you need at all times. And it happened a lot in the beginning. We would run out of stuff, and people would come in and they would be disappointed, right?
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
they were hearing about this and be like, the one thing is, well, it's so good, right? That's why we're running out. But then you got to know that like you mentioned, they're making the drive. It's a 30-minute, drive, especially with traffic nowadays. So it's just knowing, hey, you can't run out of this stuff because it's gonna be a bad experience.
Yeah.
And
100%.
we have that one opportunity to impress them for them to keep coming back.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And like marketing, what means of marketing that you guys use initially opening? What means are you using now? Is that a lot of word of mouth, or are you guys using social media, third party platforms? How are you guys generating revenue and keeping your repeat customers coming back?
Marketing, the beginning was word of mouth, really. Word of mouth, social media. Um, right now, most of it is social media. We did Yelp for a bit, which we did see an increase in sales. There's a lot of mixed feelings about Yelp,
Yeah,
but I can't. It was kind of hard because we only did it for a short period of time. Kind of have um, to say, hey, it's good, it's bad. Um, but marketing is very important. I think we basically this year actually we met. Sylvia and I met last night. We called it a late night, which late night for us is 9:30. Three kids, toddlers, 4, 3, and a 6 month old. Uh, we went crazy and stayed up past 8 o'clock because we got to be up early. But that's one of the goals for 2025 for us. Really use more of our funds into marketing,
sure.
which is merch. That's one of the things that we're going to introduce this year. So we're working with the marketing company that's going to design. We're actually rebranding.
Oh,
So
nice.
we're going to have a whole new logo this year. We're going to do merch. We were talking about either going back to Yelp or actually using one of our good friends that does a lot of social media marketing.
Sure.
Best of LA Foods, David. Shout out to him. He did a few reels for us, and we saw a big impact when he, you know, I think one reel he did it's already like at 80,000 views.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of what we were talking. The main focus this year is marketing, because I think it's very important. I mean, we market through Uber Eats and DoorDash for delivery stuff,
Sure.
but I think this year it's going to be more of a focus on getting people into visiting us at Boulevard Market.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I think with marketing, a lot of people don't really focus their efforts on that, right? And I think it's probably most like viable for your business, right? It's the most important thing, considering that you want to continue to expand your reach, right? You have your customer base, your repeat customers, the people who are going to always come there. They're going to be there 2, 3 times a month. But like, how do you expand your reach? And I think a lot of new restaurants older, they kind of get caught up like, do I really want to put that money to marketing? Right? I can use these dollars to continue to stretch me a little longer until I start to see a return on my investment. But like, right, marketing is essentially supposed to show a return on investment, and I think a lot of people miss that part of the marketing aspect of it. It's valuably important, man. It's so important.
Yeah, yeah,
Now,
and I think, I mean, sometimes it's gonna take longer than the normal, but I think that's one thing. If I would go back to year one, is it was kind of tough because as a small business, you're limited to funds, and you have to know, hey, I gotta use these funds for this and that. But I think if I would have known then what I know now is I would have put money aside for marketing, right?
sure,
Because it would it would
100%.
have helped big time, and
Yeah.
that's a goal for 2025.
Oh, nice, nice. So you mentioned the kids, right? How you guys are closed what, one day out of the week, right? How are we
Mondays.
balancing all this, right? You guys got a newborn and a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, correct? Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, she'll be well, 4. She'll be 5 in June. The 3-year-old would be 4 in November, and then the 6 month will be 1 in June. So, um, it's tough. It's tough. The beginning was kind of tough, to kind of balance that out. But you have to, make those sacrifices,
Sure.
right? And um, shout out to my mom, to my mother-in-law, for the times where like, hey, we got to drop off the kids because we have
Sure.
caterings and we got to do the storefront. Their family was a big help in the beginning, just kind of watch the kids. Well, we had Camila in the beginning, right? When we actually, I'm telling you, it's all crazy. We started in the industry we never worked, and we decided to have a baby at the same time, right? So, and then we just kept adding. We're Mexican. We're a big we all come from big families, so we don't like to grow up alone. But now we dedicate the weekends to them, right? Just
Sure.
basically having the weekends off, and during the week, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, basically, we have our family times. We go out, take them out to wherever they want to run around and stuff. Um, we got the family the annual pass for the aquarium. So they like to go,
Sure.
even though they just like to go look at the same fishes and the frogs, but we go spend 2 hours, and to them it's a blast, right? So
Sure.
it's just finding. In the beginning, it's tough. It's gonna be tough. You're gonna have to make those, those sacrifices, and but now it's just all kind of just know that we're gonna have early mornings to go prep to be able to have the afternoons to
Sure.
spend with the kids and stuff like that.
Sure.
Same some weekends, not every weekend, right? Because we have events, but some weekends, um, they're good about understanding. At least Camila, that she's a little older, they like to go to Boulevard Market, so they're always, oh, we're going to Taquero Mucho, yeah, we're going. So they like to spend time there. We did Mateo's birthday there, so every time we go, he reminds us, "Oh, my birthday was here. My birthday was here." And then he walks in, he's like, "Oh, it's my birthday today." No, not today. We're just
Every
gonna
day's a
hang out.
birthday.
But yeah, man, it's a sacrifice, but it's all worth it at the end.
Sure, sure. What are some of the misconceptions about being a restaurant owners, man? It's I also, as you know, was a restaurant owner myself. So, what are some of the misconceptions of being a restaurant owner? What would you say?
That we're ballers, that money's falling out of our
Yeah,
wallets. I think that's one of the biggest ones, right? That everybody thinks we're over here balling. We can, invite somebody out for lunch and we got the tab. Or that we just walk in and not do much work. It's just we're bossy. We're just
right,
gonna walk in
right.
and be like, do this, do that.
You gotta
Nah,
wear
man.
multiple hats, right? Like
Yeah,
you're the dishwasher, you're the cashier, you're the prep, you're everything, right?
yeah, everything basically. I have early mornings.
Hmm.
Get up at 5. If I know I have to be there by 6, I'm there at 6. If I have to leave at 6, in the afternoon, I gotta stay. If somebody calls out, we gotta
Hmm.
cover.
Hmm.
If your wife forgets that she was supposed to work in the afternoon, then she's over here telling me, "Oh, I'm at the nail salon. What are you talking about? Who's gonna come work the night shift?" They're like, "Oh, my bad," and you name it. It's you got to wear all the hats. You got to be the manager.
Yeah.
When somebody complains, you gotta
Hmm.
gotta jump on the line. Take out orders. But I think it's all rewarding at the end of the day, right? When you have people come back and tell you, man, those are the best tacos I've had.
Sure, sure.
Um, but just know that I think every restaurant owner works hard.
Sure.
They put in the time. I
Absolutely.
mean, you had those days too, right? When you walk in
100%.
and you're like, man, not today. You tell me not today, and I'm over here full of energy, because I had my coffee and you know that's how I used to get. I used to be tired, but for whatever reason, when I'm tired, I just have all this energy, right? And but I saw your struggles too. You saw my struggles,
100%.
um, and from those struggles, our bond. That's the bond that grew and that friendship.
Yes, sir.
Seeing those that sweat. I didn't see you cry, but I'm sure there was tears there. But yeah, that sweat and tears and blood that we put into it every single day in the beginning it's crazy, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. I can definitely relate. The restaurant industry is just, it's a beast, man. You got to really have a passion for it. Um, you know, I would say the cooking aspect of it, that's fun and all and being creative around that. But, it's more than just cooking and putting the meal on the plate. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. But, again, I've seen the effort that you putting around there, and you're here approaching 4 years now, which is a huge accomplishment. Most restaurants they don't get past the first year, and then the second half of them don't get past the third year. So hats off to you for making it this far, and continuing to expand your brand.
Yeah, man. Thank
Yeah,
you. It's not easy. It's not easy. That's
yeah,
for sure. But I think sound like a broken record, but it's all rewarding.
sure, sure.
All rewarding.
So let's talk about the menu. What's on your menu? What tacos we got on the menu?
So we have our classics: asada, pollo al pastor,
Hmm.
carnitas, right? Just I wanted to keep for the guest. I just wanted something traditional.
Sure.
But our specialties is what we're known for. We have our pork belly, our cochinita pibil, which that comes with the black bean habanero base slab of pork belly that is marinated overnight, cooked for 4 hours, slow cooked. And then basically top it off with pickled onion, cilantro. So that's our top seller. The next one's the cremita, basically melted cheese chicken, special white sauce that I learned from my dad. I have jalapenos, some pomegranate seeds, and cilantro. Then we have our taco de chicharrón, which is just crispy pork with a pico de gallo, but we add in Guatemala they do it with cabbage, so it's cabbage and your onion, tomatoes, and then top it off cilantro and queso cotija. That one's very popular as well. That's actually a creation that myself and my dad put together.
Nice.
And then the mixta taco, which is in Guatemala, they make a mixta taco, which is usually the tortilla, guacamole, and then a hot dog weenie, and that's how they eat it over there. So what I did was I just elevated it just a bit. We have the guacamole base, but it's a longaniza that we make from scratch, which is a family recipe sausage. And then top it off with the pickled cabbage and hibiscus, then cilantro, and then our vegan option, which is our it's a taco de chayote. Basically, it's a squash. We saute it in peppers, onions, and then we just top it off with some coconut milk, and then we just finish it sauteing in coconut milk, and then a little bit of cilantro to top it off. But those are our specialties. This year, I do want to give our vegan and vegetarian customers a few more other options. So just kind of work on a mushroom taco, which is something that a lot of people ask for, mushrooms. But yeah, and then you can get burritos, quesadillas, nachos.
Sure. You guys have breakfast also on weekends or during the week as well?
Now it's every Tuesday through Sunday. So we have breakfast burritos. And then we also have chilaquiles verdes, which those are very popular. People coming ordering them by the dozens now.
Nice.
But yeah, breakfast burrito, huevo con chorizo. I have a steak and egg. I have a chile relleno. Then we also have a soy riso, and then a chile verde, which that's my actually favorite breakfast burrito because it's our carnitas and our green sauce, and then some egg, some tater tots, refried beans and cheese, and then we make a house salsa for all our breakfast burritos.
Nice, a little mix up of everything.
Yeah,
got something for everyone, huh?
Yeah.
I said you got something for everyone. I love that.
That's how we do it over there.
Yeah, nice. So what's next for Los Taquero Mucho? Is there expansion in the future? What's next? I'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah,
We don't know. There's a few things in the works that we want to start rolling. Starting to look into this year. We're still kind of maybe another food hall.
okay.
That's in the kind of in the works. Yes and no. Also thinking we were also trying to think about a food truck. But I think since we're very familiar on how a food hall works, I think that's going to be the route we go into.
Sure.
Because food trucks are another monster to deal with. And then, just kind of, we had talked about a standalone location. We just got to find the perfect one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think food hall maybe most likely is going to be, we'll be able to find us at another food hall.
Yeah, I think it's very important to really understand the demographics around the location you're choosing, right? Boulevard Market. You guys are at Boulevard Market currently. Expanding outside of that, what do you foresee potential locations? Is that primarily Latin communities, or do you want to kind of expand outside of that as well?
There's a few. Anaheim's one of the areas that I've always been kind of the OC.
Sure.
Just kind of have give that side of town, a little taste of our tacos.
Sure.
Basically something very different. I think something that demographic area would really enjoy. And we still do our traditional plates, right?
Sure.
We still have our traditional like chile rellenos, chilaquiles, you name it, but. What sets us apart is those specialty tacos. Basically, That's actually a market I've always been interested in, and more of a like a brick and mortar kind of thing. Because we did try out a ghost kitchen, didn't work out.
Okay.
You know, because I think what we have is more of a, I don't like to call them gourmet. That's why we call them specialties. Our specialty tacos. I think they're more suited for a brick and mortar or a
Sure.
food hall.
Sure,
Like
yeah, that
Ghost
makes
Kitchen, I
sense.
think they're just a little too elevated for that
Sure,
kind of
sure.
market. So yeah, I think Anaheim has always been, Pasadena has always been in mine as well. So um, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see. We're just gonna go with the punches this year. So we have a plan in place, you know, for 2025. You know, but I think what comes our way, we'll take it.
Yes, sir. Sir. Well, tell the people where they can find you, social media platforms, Boulevard Market. Where can the people locate you?
So all the social media platform, well, Facebook and Instagram, Los Taquero Mucho, at Los Taquero Mucho. They can find us at Boulevard Market in the city of Montebello. We're there Tuesday through Sunday. Hours are from 9 to 9, Tuesday through Thursday. Friday, Saturday, we close at 10, and then Sunday, 9 to 9 as well. Great place, great outdoor seating, indoor seating. Um, we're not the only ones there. There's also good options there. You know, you got pupusas, you got Filipino food, smash burgers, pizza, beer and wine. So, you know, for the next outing, family friendly. Um, yeah, Boulevard Market in the city of Montebello.
Right on, man. Well, appreciate your efforts, man. Thanks for being here. Blessing episode 1. And yeah, appreciate you, bro.
No, thank you for the invite, man.